All right, radio check, radio check. You guys should be able to hear me. Welcome back to the channel. We have got qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix underway shortly. And we've had a very, very exciting couple of weeks in Formula One. And this weekend continues the trend, really. We've had practice yesterday, and that was severely disrupted by the fact that there was rain and hail in Montreal, Canada, which meant that we've got a lot less testing data than normal, and we have got a lot more excitement and uncertainty, which is always good to have. Yeah, quite a lot of other stuff has happened in the Formula One world. Contracts have been extended, contracts have been ended, and it is quite exciting. Yeah, I hear it is raining. Well, as of right now, I don't think it is raining in Canada. I'm currently watching an interview on the Sky Sports thing, and the circuit does look wet. So I'd like to be totally accurate with you. The circuit does look wet, but I do not think it is currently raining at this moment in time. So, yeah. The FIA regulations have been released for 2026. The cars are going to be lighter, they're going to be shorter, narrower. We're going to have less drag, less downforce. We're going to have active aerodynamics. And they're going to be using a 50-50 split of combustion power and electric power, and a 100% use of renewable fuels. Those are the new visions for 2020 Formula One in 2026, and it's a step in the right direction. The cars are 20 centimeters shorter, 10 centimeters smaller in the width dimension, and 30 kilograms lighter as well. Of course, the fans will always be looking for more and more. We'd want 100 kilograms off ideally, but when you're storing a battery, batteries end up being quite heavy. So compromises have to be made, and but I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm not sure about the active aerodynamics, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays out once we get much more details. And yes, there'll be no DRS, and instead it'll be sort of a push to pass system, which will be kind of like IndyCar. And I hear IndyCar's got the overtaking system's quite good. So. What about Max? Max's engine. Yeah, Max has had a roller coaster of a practice session so far. Firstly, FP1, it was just raining, so no testing, no practice really for him or anyone really in FP1. FP2, there was a dry spell, but Verstappen suffered from quite a lot of issues and only completed 10 laps in FP2, which led to him getting only 14 laps in total of 14 laps in total of practice on a Friday, which is not great. Usually around this circuit, because it is quite a short circuit, the drivers get around about 60 laps, at least 60, maybe 65, 70, if they are really testing out like an upgrade or something like that. But yeah. So it is. It's good. It's good. Max has got a little bit less practice than normal, and in fact, there have been so much talk in the paddock of issues with Max's car, and not just Max's car, just the Red Bull car in general. The car not being particularly stable over the bumps, lots of bouncing, and lots of issues in the low-speed corners. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. But I think the main weakness of the Red Bull car is bumpiness. That's what Christian Horner said himself. Circuits that are bumpy, and then tracks where you have big curbs that you have to drive over to gain lap time. That is really the weak spot of the Red Bull, and they are, this circuit is really exposing those weak spots. The curbs are here because it is quite a lot of chicanes. I mean, actually, out of if we just go through the circuit, there is a chicane for turn number 3 and 4, a chicane for turn number 6 and 7, a chicane for turn number 8 and 9, and then a chicane for turn number 13 and 14. There are 4 chicanes at the circuit, and when you go through chicane, especially high-speed chicanes like we do have here in Canada, going over the curbs quite important, and the curbs here aren't too small, they're quite high up, and we end up losing, Red Bull end up losing a lot of time there because they can't attack the curbs with the same commitment that the other drivers can, because the car does not react very well. So that is, that's going to put them on the back foot. Verstappen is not looking particularly happy about that. In fact, he is the only driver, no, him and Perez are the only two drivers that aren't attacking the curbs in the practice sessions. In the practice sessions, we're seeing all of the drivers experiment, maybe go a little bit extra on the entry curb and a little bit less on the exit curb. But we haven't seen much of that from either of the Red Bull drivers, because as soon as they get onto the curbs, the car just reacts unpredictably and in a manner that they really can't control. So yeah, it is not been the best thing in the world for Red Bull, but it makes the races more exciting, which is always good to see. Hey F1 Gamer, are you watching the Cricket World Cup? England is on fire against Australia. No, I'm not actually. I actually forgot about the fact that the Cricket World Cup is on. But I guess I'll check out the highlights later on. Right, I know it's unpopular to say, but I like Ocon. He came from nothing. His parents sold their petrol station to fund his early career. Yeah, well, see this thing. Yeah, Ocon, unfortunately, he has lost his contract at Alpine. There were talks of him. Well, if you guys don't remember what happened in Monaco, I shall remind you. Going into Portier, on the opening lap of the Monaco Grand Prix, Esteban Ocon sent it down the inside of his teammate. Pierre Gasly, ended up creating quite a bit of contact damage and took him and Pierre Gasly both out of the race. So yeah, and the team were like, I think there was already a history before these two were teammates that they didn't particularly like each other. Both of them are French, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon, but they had some sort of history from their, I think, karting career that they didn't like each other, and that just continued on. And the team probably had some sort of thing like, if this becomes a problem later on, one of you is going to go, and it did become a problem. And here is Esteban Ocon, who has lost his contract. So yeah, they don't particularly like each other, and it is what it is. Yeah. So we'll see who gets Esteban Ocon's seat. We'll see where does Esteban Ocon go. Does he find another seat? Because he's sort of a midfield driver. He hasn't been performing that greatly. And maybe Alpine do have Jack Doohan in their academy. I think he's doing test driver work for them as well. And Jack Doohan currently in F2 as well. So, there's definitely a chance that he could get in there. We'll have to wait and find out. Microphone sounding crystal clear. That is, thank you very much. I think I got a new mic 3 races ago or something, but I've also sort of moved around my setup to minimize the amount of noise that my mic receives, which is, I guess that's worked out. Greetings from Nigeria. Greetings to you too, I guess. Thank you for tuning in. We've got nearly 1,000 people, and we are still, 20 minutes away from qualifying. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you could hit the like button, that would be fantastic, and it would very much be appreciated. All right, so let's get into a couple more of the headlines. We have had Sergio Perez having his contract extended at Red Bull. When Christian Horner was sort of asked for any comments about that, it was sort of just, we want to clear Perez's mind. Like, of course, when you have that extra bit of pressure hanging over you, being like, if you don't perform this weekend, then you could lose your contract. Some drivers, excel under it and thrive under it, and then there's some drivers that don't. And I think what Christian Horner was just like, he was like, right, I think it's best if we just told Perez that we're going to continue his contract, and he doesn't have to be worried about it anymore. So that was the decision that they made, and Sergio Perez continuing on at Red Bull. So I think that's a good thing, really. Nothing bad coming from there. Of course, there were lots of drivers who were potentially looking to get that Red Bull seat. There was maybe Carlos Sainz, there was maybe Daniel Ricciardo, there's maybe Yuki Tsunoda, all sort of in contention for that Red Bull seat. But alas, it was Sergio Perez, the tried and trusted driver, who, I think Red Bull themselves know that the car isn't the easiest thing to handle, and it takes a while to get used to, and not every driver can deal with it. So they have someone that's already doing a pretty decent job. Like, sure, Paris isn't always up there right behind Max, but he is able to sort of, stay with him reasonably. And I think that's all Red Bull care. I think as long as Red Bull win the constructors, if they have the quickest car, then they should be totally fine with Sergio Perez. And I think that's why they've gone ahead with the contract extensions, because they just don't want to take the risk, really, of potentially signing Yuki Tsunoda, but then him not being able to cope with a car and them losing half a season of absolutely no performances from anyone. Yeah. And then Williams are potentially looking to sign Carlos Sainz. Now, that would be a very big downgrade, I would say, for Carlos Sainz, of course, being a Ferrari driver and then going straight to Williams. Williams have made some progress, but it's not been the smoothest of roads for the British team, and it is what it is now. We'll have to wait and see. That I think James Vowles has one other option that could be Kimi Antonelli, because since Williams are using the Mercedes engine and they do sort of have the young driver contract thing, I presume that will mean that if Mercedes do want Kimi Antonelli to drive in Formula One, but they don't want to take him at Mercedes, then they will put him in at Williams and pay Williams a fair amount for doing so. All right. Oh yeah, this is a new surface. That is a very good point. Thank you for pointing that out, Bionic One. I forgot to mention that, but we do have a new surface here in Canada, so there is going to be a lot of rubbering in, and given the fact that it rained yesterday, we're going to have significant amounts of track evolution, and that's always great. It always makes it a little bit more exciting, and we'll wait and see what happens. Quali predictions, it's tough to say, really. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Leclerc for pole. I'm feeling a bit risky today. Leclerc for pole, and then we have Verstappen in second, and then Norris in third. Yeah, that's what my predictions are going to be. I think the top three are all going to be three different teams, and that's what I'm thinking today, because Red Bull haven't been outstandingly quick. We don't have too much information from all of the other teams either, because we just haven't had that much practice. And Mercedes look quick, but I don't know if I trust the pace from Mercedes. Sometimes they're quick, sometimes they're slow. But we'll wait and see. We shall wait and see. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What else is there to talk about? There is, of course, the Oh yeah, the other thing is there's been a lot of talk of the upgrades that Red Bull brought to Imola. There was a lot of talk about the fact that those upgrades maybe have actually made the car slightly slower and slightly, the car is slower because of the upgrades they brought at Imola. Now, when Christian Horner was asked about this, he said that no, that is a totally false rumor. All of the data correlated perfectly with what we expected in the CFD simulations and everything like that. But I have a feeling that Christian Horner isn't going to give the most accurate answer anyway. But I think what it does is maybe it makes a car more sensitive, as we can see that probably they do have better peak downforce numbers. I'm sure they do. But when it comes to the car being able to perform in a bunch of different scenarios, when maybe when the suspension's like in a different setting or a different angle, or there are a whole bunch of different scenarios that an F1 car can be in. They can get a bit of airtime, and in all of those different scenarios, the Red Bull may not be coping as well as they hoped, and that's probably leading to the lack of performance in the past couple of weekends. I mean, see, this is the thing. Red Bull knew that this wasn't going to be a good circuit for them, so they knew that Miami wasn't going to be great. They knew Monaco wasn't going to be great, and I think they also know that Canada isn't going to be great for them. But the question is, how much more sensitive have those upgrades brought? How much more sensitive have the upgrades made the car, really? We'll have to wait and see. All right, yeah, when you hit a slight curb, it's over for them. Indeed, yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, Red Bull, both Red Bull drivers have been avoiding the curbs like they are lava. Yeah, they've been playing the curbs are lava while driving around the circuit. Like, absolutely no driving, no touching the curbs whatsoever from either of the Red Bull drivers. And it looks like they just want to preserve the car and preserve the pace as much. Well, you know, that's what it seems like. Once they touch the curbs, the car becomes unpredictable, and you don't want to be doing that, especially at the circuit of, the circuit that we are at here today. The walls are so close to the circuit most of the time. In fact, near most of the chicanes, there is of course runoff and a couple of barriers, but the walls are still very close, and a small little mistake here and there, and you will end up near a wall or in a wall. All right. Okie dokes. Let's see what else is going on in the paddock. To be honest, there haven't been that many upgrades that they've been brought to this weekend here in Canada. I think mostly because it is sort of in the middle of the European part of the season. So we're going to go back to Spain in 2 weeks' time, and I think maybe we'll have a couple of upgrades for then, as it just is easier for the teams to get upgrades and spare parts to a country much closer to their factory. Will the team radios be on close to QUALI? Indeed they will. In fact, I probably could just get rid of the advert. I guess, yeah, if anyone wants F1 TV Pro, link is in the description and in the chat. But yeah, it's got all of the team radios, all of the onboard footage, all the telemetry, everything you could ever want basically for Formula One, all of the races from like 1950. F1 TV Pro's got it. So if you would like to get that, go ahead and check out my link. Right, where do you think Hamilton's going to be on the grid? Well, in next year, Hamilton will be at Ferrari on the grid, but in terms of this weekend, I think it's definitely going to be in the top 10. The Mercedes look pretty strong, but I don't think their pace in FP3 is particularly representative of anything, to be honest. So they will probably end up in 7th or 8th position. Yeah. Should Stroll even be in F1? Well, Stroll has actually outperformed Alonso in the past, I think, 2 races. So, it's not that much to go off. But, yeah, 2 races, Stroll has outperformed Alonso. Alonso's been making, very uncharacteristic mistakes, to be honest. And, yeah, I think Stroll's been doing a good job. Of course, the way that he got to Formula One, maybe not the most fair way, to be honest. But now that he's got here, he does have a performance and pace to back himself up. Admittedly, it's not the best way to get into Formula One by your foot, and his seat as well in Formula One. His dad has bought the team, so yeah. Is it raining? It is. It is not raining, but the circuit is wet. So yeah, it was raining before, but it is no longer raining. The circuit is wet, but the skies are clear. I think Yuki could have gotten a multi-year contract elsewhere instead of just 1 year playing it safe. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. AlphaTauri is sort of just a team for building up junior drivers, and now Yuki Tsunoda's quite experienced, to be honest, in Formula One. So they're just extending him by 1 year until they either want to get someone else in, or Yuki Tsunoda finds something else somewhere else, because I don't think that's totally off the cards. I think Yuki Tsunoda is more than quick enough to get a drive somewhere else, and who knows what will happen and where Yuki Tsunoda will end up driving. Okie dokes, folks. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you are enjoying the coverage. And yeah. Be sure to hit the like button. It really will help out the channel. Yuki should go to Honda. Well, Aston Martin are having a little partnership with Honda, to be honest. And in 2026, they're going to be using the Honda engine instead of the Mercedes engine. And maybe he'll end up there. Who knows? All right, so now just to talk about what's been happening in the practice sessions, the drivers have really been struggling with turn number 8 and 9. It's a little chicane there, and as the drivers turn in, they end up losing a lot of rear grip. So turn in, the rear of the car slides out as they turn into the corner, and then, going through turn number 9, well, they don't actually make it to turn number 9, they go straight over the grass because they don't have any control of the rear end. And we saw this with the Williams, we saw this with the Mercedes of George Russell. It's really been struggling. A lot of drivers have been struggling with it. And another thing at this circuit is the entry to the pit lane and the sort of the queue for the drivers. It is a very difficult scenario. The circuit is about 3 cars wide, but still very, very narrow. And a lot of the drivers queue up just before the final chicane while drivers are coming down at full speed. They're coming down 200 miles an hour, and we've got drivers crawling around at 40 miles an hour waiting to start their hot lap. So, yeah, quite a tricky scenario. And there's also drivers that want to go straight into the pits, and they're on the racing line for the drivers going to chicane. It's very, very odd setup, and maybe should be changed in the future, but I don't know if they have space to change it. So we're going to have to watch out, especially in Q1, for how the drivers managed with that, and maybe we'll see a couple of penalties being dished out. Apart from that, on the final corner of the circuit, turn number 13 and 14, where you can see the orange at the top right of the screen, there is the final chicane where the drivers go absolutely full send. And on the exit of turn number 14, there is the Wall of Champions. The Wall of Champions, aptly named after a couple of champions drove into that wall. Making quite frequent mistakes because they are just pushing so hard. And we've had a couple of drivers, including Alex Albon, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, all just touch the barriers a little bit on the exit. And we'll wait and see how that plays out. But we could have a pretty big accident going into the final corner. We've seen this happen before. I think it was Kevin Magnussen 2019 or 2020 quali had quite a big crash coming through there, but we'll keep an eye out. All right. Do you play F1 24? Unfortunately, no. Well, actually, I don't know. Fortunately or unfortunately, I think I don't think the F1 24 game is all that good. Because firstly, it's made by EA, which never makes it that great, and secondly, I think the handling model is totally off. Like, I saw a video where if you're driving over the grass, you have a higher top speed than if you're driving on the actual circuit or something like that. So yeah, not great. All right. In fact, I have the F1 21 game. Yeah, I have F1 2021, and I was playing that, lapping the trying to set some quick laps on the Canadian Grand Prix on the time trial. I think I was like top 3% on time trial on Xbox. So yeah, but I spent a lot of time trying to set a quick lap. So yeah. Anyway, we are only now 7 minutes away from qualifying getting underway. I'm going to get up the qualifying live timings. So just give me a second. Hopefully it should appear it'll appear in 10 seconds or so. So hang in there. All right then. What else is going on in just an update on the weather. It is still not raining. It is just the circuit is still just wet. So just keep that in mind as we get into qualifying today. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of track evolution because, considering the fact that the circuit is wet, and then the second fact that the circuit has also been resurfaced. So there's going to be a lot of rubbering in that's going to happen, and we're going to get a lot of track evolution. So we'll keep that in mind. The rain gods must visit on rain day. In fact, let me check what the weather is in Montreal, Canada. I'm just going to go get my phone 1 sec. Right. We've got your weather app says rain starts with the start of Q1. Well, that is good news, to be honest. Good news. It will make it very, very exciting indeed. This circuit is so tricky in the rain, especially with all the chicanes and the basically, because on this circuit you really have to attack the curbs as you go through the chicanes if you want to make up time. And the probably one of the most difficult things on in driving in the wet is going anywhere near curbs, because there are some curbs that are totally slippery. There are some curbs that if you go on, they'll sort of drag you through the corner and make you quicker, and there are some curbs that you touch and the car responds as if it was just on a normal part of the circuit. So understanding all of those things when it is raining out this circuit will be very, very tricky indeed. And yeah. Classic Hypercar Garage UK. Did you get your new mic? Indeed, I did. Hello, Ivan. Good to see that you are back. Latifi and Shola from Canada. Yes. Did I forget to Latifi? Yeah, Latifi isn't driving though. It's Logan Sargent driving. I thought I forgot that Latifi was driving and I forgot to put it in the little thing at the bottom of the screen. But yeah. Okie dokes. Also, yeah, Guan Yu Zhou, he crashed 2 times. He crashed yesterday and today, causing 2 red flags in both occasions, and not great for him. Also, we have 3 DRS zones out this circuit. We have 14 corners. It is, I think it's a 5.4 kilometer long circuit or something like that, but the softest range are from Pirelli. We've got the C5s for the softs, the C4 for the mediums, and the C3 for the hards. And we are going to have some qualifying shortly in 3 minutes and 27 seconds. The clouds above in the sky are very, very ominous indeed. They're, well, very big grey clouds just waiting to come over the circuit. They are currently, by the looks of it, 10-15 minutes away from the circuit, but as of now, we'll keep an eye on the weather and I will keep updating on you. I don't know why they keep changing the flags, but it says that the track surface is slippery at track sector 11, which I think probably means it's near turn number 8. But yeah, they've the FIA have said something about the track surface being slippery. Weather conditions are 32 degrees air temperature. And track temperature, air temperature is 20 degrees, 32 degrees track temperature. Yeah, if it was 32 degrees in Canada, global warming would have taken off severely. But yeah, 20 degrees in Canada, 32 degrees track temperature. And rain is, the risk of rain is 80%, folks. The risk of rain is 80%. This is going to be very, very exciting indeed. Be sure to watch right till the end. We're going to have 18 minutes of Q1, 15 minutes of Q2, and 12 minutes of Q3, each with a 4-minute break in between. All right, we're getting radio messages pop through as well. 1 minute to go, and they're going to fire up in 40 seconds for Esteban Ocon, and yeah, there we go. All right. Let's wait and see what happens then. And this is the other thing. With rain expected, we're going to see all of the drivers come out right at the start because they do not want to get caught out by an odd bit of rain. So that's great to see action right from the start, right from the get-go. Also, just a little update on the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull are leading the table on 276 points. Ferrari in second place, 252. The gap between the two teams is 24 points to be exact. So 1 race win and Ferrari will be, 1 race win for Ferrari and no points scored for Red Bull. And that will put them ahead of Red Bull. So yeah, this is a pretty make or break weekend for Red Bull. They've lost the past 2 races, and their car does not look as dominant as it previously did. Maybe they're having to push the limits, push the ride height even lower and lower, to sort of extract the performance that they need to end up, being being the fastest car, and as they push the ride height lower and lower, the downforce starts struggling. The sensitiveness of the car starts struggling, and we see these errors sort of occur between the drivers, between the drivers. Sorry, I don't know why I was going out there. Anyway, there we go. So drivers are making their way out onto the circuit, and yeah, qualifying is underway. There we go. All right. As everyone makes their way out of the pit lane, there is no indications of rain. Actually, this is one of probably the best use of the track thing. Any sort of information that the drivers get about there being rain will be shown right to the right side of your screen, and yeah, hopefully that is pretty useful. Okie dokes. Right. There we go. Everyone is making their way out. We have a wind of 12.2 kilometers per hour, and it is a massive crosswind. Crosswind everywhere. Norris has just been told over the radio that there are light drops reported at turn 7 to turn 8. They don't see anything on the radar, but very light drops turn 7 to turn 8. So we do have rain. We have rain on the way, folks. Rain is on the way. All of the drivers now making their way out. Yeah, you normally don't see Verstappen and Perez coming out right at the start of a Q1 session, but here it is. Ferrari still sat in the garage. I expect them to come out soon because, anyone that doesn't come out risks getting caught out by rain. So, yeah, here we go then. All right. Everyone out of the pits. The only drivers not out of the pits, Hamilton, both Mercs. I think Leclerc's coming out of the pits, and Nico Hülkenberg will be out shortly as well. All right, yeah, there we go. Leclerc's out of the pits. Both Mercs and Nico Hülkenberg still in the pit lane. We have 15 minutes left of qualifying, and a lot of action heading our way. All right. Look at that, purple from Max Verstappen, 21.1, going 2 seconds quicker than Lance Stroll. Looks like Lance Stroll isn't attacking. He says the tyres are cold. It looks like they're going to do a double warm-up. This is another thing. Monaco, one of the shortest circuits on the calendar, but Montreal is right up there with one of the shortest ones. I probably think second or third shortest, maybe Mexico GP is a little bit shorter, but yeah, this circuit, very, very short, and not a lot of corners as well. So the drivers spend 65% of the time at full throttle, which doesn't really heat up the tyres. The corners are the things that heat up the tyres. So we might see probably a couple of drivers doing double out laps to really get those tyres into the correct window before they start doing hot laps. But Max Verstappen, he's had his quickest first sectors taken away from him by Lando Norris, who goes quicker in the first sector and quicker in the second sector compared to Verstappen. And Verstappen a 1:15.1 from him. We'll wait and see what the rest of the competition can do. Where will Carlos Sainz go for 2025? Another team, another motorsport racer sabbatical, or a straight-up retirement? I don't think Sainz will retire. Potentially at Williams, that's where it's been discussed. James Vowles has said Williams is a prime candidate. So let's wait and see. But Lando Norris across the line, a 1:14.5. He goes 0.6 ahead of Max Verstappen. That is brilliant from him. Brilliant indeed. Great lap there from Lando. And Lance Stroll has taken the quickest first sector. Wow, okay, so maybe a double warm-up lap is the optimal strategy. Because Stroll had cold tyres when he went to do his first out lap, but now we're seeing him go significantly quicker after his second out lap. So maybe that will be the way forward to really heat those tyres up. But let's wait and see. Ocon across the line in third position. Ooh, Sainz has had a big offing there. He's gone off the circuit on the entry into turn number 1. on the start of his hot lap. Goes a little bit over the grass. The car seems to be fine. No sort of issues there, but he will have to start recharging the battery and then go once again for another lap. So a mistake there of Carlos Sainz going a little bit too deep into the opening corner of the circuit. Stroll across the line, a 114.5 from him. Bottas across the line, a 114.6. Okay, well, this is what we can see. Track Evolution is playing a massive, massive role with the Sauber up there in third place and with Lance Stroll up there in first position. It is clear to see Track Evolution is going to be a pretty prominent factor in today's qualifying. Nico Hulkenberg up there in third place as well. Maybe a double warm-up lap is looking good. We're seeing quite a lot of chat about tyre temperatures. Sergio Perez comes over the radio saying that he has very low grip. Russell across the line, a 114.0, sorry, from him, and he goes 4 tenths quicker than his teammate Lewis Hamilton, who puts a 114.5. Alonso a 114.4. Piastri a 114.3, and the times are tumbling as we have more and more drivers make their way around the circuit. So yeah, this is what you can expect to see. A lot of Track Evolution with some rain forecast on the way. 80% chance of rain predicted by Formula One. And, you know, the fact that there are quite a few clouds out there, massive grey clouds, I think we might have rain heading our way shortly. All right, Lando Norris, 2 purple sectors from him. He might be putting himself right back up there to the top. But coming out the exit of the final corner, we saw Lance Stroll get so close to the wall of champions. I think there were mere millimeters between him and the wall. Even the camera can't pick up the distance. It was so small. But yeah, Stroll doing a great job at his home circuit, which is great to see. Lando Norris, a 113.5 from him. Very nicely done, and he puts himself up 5 tenths quicker than George Russell. A brilliant lap there from Lando Norris. All right. Will Lance Stroll win his home Grand Prix like how Leclerc did in Monaco? I would say that's highly unlikely, but could happen. It could happen. Someone could go bowling, it could start raining, and then we could have quite a few incidents, and Stroll could win. But, yeah, tough to say. I wouldn't bet on it, let's put it that way. Verstappen there with a fastest first sector as he starts his second flying lap. Oh, we have a yellow flag on the circuit, and it's been cleared as well. All right, never mind. I guess the marshals are just playing a couple of games with us here. Stroll across the line in second position for him. Sargent up there in 5th place. A really good job here from Logan Sargent. He's doing a nice improvement. And then we see Daniel Ricciardo's improve massively up into 3rd position. Great job from him. Right. And there we see Max Verstappen right up to the top there, a 113.3, 2 tenths quicker than Lando Norris. So looks like Track Evolution is really helping him out there. There is 9 minutes left of Q1. It says at the bottom left of the screen. Let me get rid of this Q1 has started thing. But yeah, it says just next to the Canadian flag, there is the timer. Blue means the drivers are coming in or out the pit lane. Yeah. Also, look at that. Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll right up there, 3rd and 4th position. And yeah, Alonso with the purple middle sector to go with it. So Stroll's doing a great job. In fact, 10th quicker than Fernando Alonso, which is very, very exciting. Very, very interesting as well. Okie dokes, yeah, Fernando Alonso. Oh no, Stroll. Stroll got very, very close as well. Stroll did it again and got very close to the barriers. So, interesting. All right. So currently in the elimination zone, we have Sergio Perez, Pierre Gasly, Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Guan Yu Zhou. So I expect Hamilton and Perez to get out there soon enough. Hamilton is currently on a flying lap, and Sergio Perez, I think, is on an out lap. about to start his flying lap. We've got 8 minutes left on the, 9 minutes, sorry, left on the clock as we, 8 minutes, I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, all the drivers now, they've done two runs on their first set of soft tyres. They're going to come in, get a couple extra litres of fuel into their tank, and then they will be going out again for another run on in the Q1 session. George Russell up there in first position. Great lap from him. Lewis Hamilton currently on a flying lap. He comes out of the final corner. Here he comes across the line. DRS activated. The drivers approaching around about 190 miles an hour as they hit the brakes for turn number 1. Lewis Hamilton up into third place for him. That is great to see. Okie dokes. And now, now we wait. Now we wait till everyone else does their refueling and then come out for their final runs. George Russell's got a minor flat spot, a little bit of locking up. And yeah, with the new surface, well, I think we've seen a lot more lockups than usual. And Pierre Gasly has just reported for us, still no rain in the area, just focus on getting these tyres ready. Also, guys, do let me know if you can read the team radio or if I should make the font a little bit bigger, because if I should make the font a little bit bigger, it shouldn't take too long. Piastri's just come over the radio saying he's got impeded massively by both cars, and one of the cars is an AlphaTauri, one of the cars is a Mercedes, so he could have penalties heading there for those drivers. I'm not sure which AlphaTauri or which Mercedes it was, but yeah, it was quite clear for it to be it's quite clear that it was a severe blocking. Right, a couple of people have said a little bit bigger would be good, and a couple of you said, I think some of you are on your phones and some of you are on your computers, so I will just make it a little bit bigger. And yeah, just give me 1 second, folks. I shall change it, and there's not much going on. In fact, everyone's coming out of the pits to do their out laps, but I will be back in just a minute. There we go. I think that's probably a decent enough size, but yeah, you can only see 5 radios at a time, and they are flicking by really, really quickly. But I'll try and figure out something. So maybe I'll have I don't know. I'll see. But for now, I think that should do just fine. Sergio Perez is still in the elimination zone. He's currently in the pits. Is he? Yep. Sergio Perez currently in the pits. Yeah. All right. Top 3 still all in the pits. It seems like they might not be coming out. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah. All right. 4 minutes left on the clock. Everyone coming out for their final run. Still no signs of rain. No one has reported any rain. And we do have basically everyone out on their slow laps. We have Pierre Gasly, though. He is on a hot lap. And let's wait and see what he can do. Coming through turn number 8 and 9, we saw quite a few drivers struggling there, going straight on into the grass. But Pierre Gasly deals with it nicely, hitting the apexes over both corners. Very, very well. Breaks into chicane and gets a nice little toe off Alex Albon as he comes out of there as well. Great job there. Great timing from the Alpine team. Then we have Stroll with the fastest first sector. All right. Lando Norris, fastest first sector, takes that away from Stroll. This is quite the exciting bit of action that we've got here. Right. All right. Let's see. Gasly up into second position. Good lap from him. well, a very, very good lap indeed, bringing Alpine up into second place. Piastri improves up to 11th, still nowhere near Lando Norris. Stroll across the line to 13.0, quicker than Russell, and the incident has been noted. Hamilton, Tsunoda were the two drivers that were blocking Piastri when Piastri came over the radio to complain, so maybe there might be a penalty heading towards Hamilton and Tsunoda's way. Alonso across the line at 113.1. He is once again a 10th behind Stroll. Quite interesting to see, but Lando Norris goes ahead of both Aston Martins up into first place, a 112.9, the first driver into the 1 minute 12s. Yeah, a sensational lap from Lando Norris, and he's really been on it. Compared to his teammate Oscar Piastri, there is an 0.8 of a gap between the two drivers. There's no different upgrades this weekend. Both drivers have the exact same car, but Norris 0.8 ahead of Oscar Piastri. A brilliant job indeed, and I think Piastri struggling a little bit for pace here. I don't think he has that much experience racing at this circuit. Of course, it is still Piastri's second season in Formula One. You've got to keep in mind, he's been performing absolutely fantastically, and I think sometimes we forget that it's only his second season in Formula One. But yeah, he's currently in the elimination zone, so he's got to do something to fix that. All right, Tsunoda up into fourth as well. Wow. Verstappen over the radio saying downshifts are terrible as well. Well, a different word for terrible, but I'm gonna keep this family friendly. And yeah, the team's asking him for a little bit more information related to the downshifts. They're being like, if you could be a bit more specific, that'd be great. But Verstappen seems a little bit annoyed just at the fact that his downshifts aren't going as smoothly as he wanted. We've got Hamilton across the line. Great lap from him. Look at that. He goes a 10th quicker than Lando Norris, and that is a 112.8 for Lewis Hamilton there. Carlos Sainz matching Lando Norris through the first sector. Good job from him, and we'll see him back up at the top of the pack soon enough. Here we go then. Carlos Sainz coming through turn number 13 and 14, so close to the barriers. Wow, what a serious commitment there from Carlos Sainz, and he is across the line up into fourth place. A solid job from the Spaniard, who hasn't got a seat for next year. All right, let's wait and see. Next couple of drivers coming across line, we have got Kevin Magnussen currently in 14th place, looking to get out of Q1. Here he comes across the line. He goes. It is 8th position for Kevin Magnussen. Next up is Alex Albon. He's starting his flying lap. We've got Charles Leclerc coming across the line. He's currently in 15th, up into 6th place for him after a purple third sector. Looks like he went full send coming out of the final corner. We have Piastri across the line, second place for him. Oh my God. Well, whatever the issue was earlier, causing the gap to be 0.8 of a second, that has definitely been rectified, and Piastri up into second place in the purple third sector for him as well. Maybe he got a nice toe coming out of the final corner. We've got Verstappen on two purple sectors. As we have Logan Sargent, coming across the line. He puts himself up into sixth. A brilliant performance, must I say, ahead of Alex Albon as well. Fantastic job. We've got Ricciardo across the line for 12th place. We've got Max Verstappen out of the final corner. What can he do? He's got two purple sectors. Make it three, and it is pole position for, well, it's not pole, it's first position. We're currently only in Q1. Got a little bit excited there, but Tsunoda across the line, second place for him. He is, oh my God, look at that, a 12.3 from Max Verstappen. That is half a second quicker than anyone else in the field. And Albon's up into fourth. He outqualifies Logan Sargent, currently in Q1. Leclerc across the line in 11th position. And the elimination zone has got Sergio Perez in it. Is there anything Perez can do to combat this? By the looks of it, no. Perez has been knocked out of Q1. It's 16th place for him. That is a massive blunder by a Red Bull. What has happened here? Yeah, yikes indeed. What has gone on there? Perez is out. We've got the two Saubers out. Esteban Ocon and Nico Hülkenberg are also eliminated, but the big surprise is Sergio Perez, after his contract extension, is eliminated in Q1 again. Yeah, again. That is because that's what happened, and the Red Bull race mechanic kind of just looking there with his with his mouth wide open, being like, "What has happened here?" Yeah. How has he done that? I mean, maybe they mistimed the lap, or maybe he made a mistake, but I'm sure they're going to review it. But as of now, there is absolutely no answers to what's happened here. Even the Red Bull fans in the stands, they're looking quite confused. They're like, what's happened to Sergio Perez? Interesting. A very, very big shock indeed for the Red Bull team, for Sergio Perez as well. We will have Q2 and Q3 in 4 minutes. So, well, we'll have Q2 in 4 minutes, and then after Q2 is over, we'll have Q3. Yeah. Danny Rick barely made it into Q2. Yes, he did. With Tsunoda up in second position, Danny Rick down in 14th. That is once again another occurrence of Daniel Ricciardo not performing as expected and not pulling his weight. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, what tyres was Ricciardo doing it on? Ricciardo was doing it on 4-lap all tyres. Tsunoda did it on 4-lap all tyres. No difference in tyres there. Yeah, right. Wow. Lawson needs a seat. Yeah, Lawson needs a seat. Who knows? Who knows what will happen with Daniel Ricciardo? Will he continue driving for Red Bull, for AlphaTauri in 2025? What's going to happen? Let's wait and see. All right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water, but we've got 5,000 people tuned in. Oh my God, that is absolutely brilliant. And we've also hit the like target as well. Right, well, I guess I can change that. Also, I don't know, I guess I've just changed the like thing a little bit. Let me know if you think it's any good. I don't know. I don't think it particularly matters or affects the content of the stream anyway. So anyway, yeah, I'll have a sip of water. I'll be back in just a second. But very much do appreciate the support, folks. And if you are enjoying, be sure to hit the like button. How is Albon in fourth? Albon is in fourth because I think he set his lap right at the end. So obviously optimal track conditions, but the Williams has a history of being very, very slippery in a straight line. And Montreal is one of those circuits, along with Spa and along with Monza, where there is a whole lot of straights. Like, of course, so if you count the number of chicanes that you have in Monza, you have the first chicane, the second chicane, and the Ascari chicane. 3 chicanes, and then you have Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2, and Curva Grande. So that's 3 actual corners and 3 chicanes. Here in Montreal, we have we have 4 chicanes and we have 3 actual corners. So it's not too dissimilar. And yeah, so Montreal, one of those circuits where the Williams really will excel, very similar to Spa and very similar to Monza. So yeah, it's that's how Albon's up there in fourth, and Logan Sargent as well doing a brilliant job. He's only a 10th and a half behind Alex Albon, and yeah, a fantastic job. Slowly but surely improving, but I think it is already too late for him. Unless he starts getting up and podiums or something, I think it's quite unlikely that Williams will continue his contract. Yeah. Williams will always have the speed. Don't Massa have the fastest? I don't know if it was Massa. I think Valtteri Bottas has the highest speed. I think it was in a Williams in 2016 at Mexico. But yeah, the Williams has already been very, very quick in a straight line. I think it might just be something to do with the team's philosophy. Like if they have an option to go slightly more downforce and slightly more drag, or a little bit less downforce and a little bit less drag, they'll opt for the less draggy option. Right, do Lance and Alonso have the same upgrades on their car? Indeed, they do. I think it was last weekend now they had a little bit of a mishmash of upgrades, but as of now, both drivers have the same upgrade package on both cars, and we can see their performance is very, very similar. In fact, we have Stroll ahead of Alonso, which is not something we typically see. Yeah, it is 2 times in a row for Sergio Perez. You know, I mean, the first time must have been so nice he just had to do it twice. What can he say, really? What happened? A big blunder down at Red Bull. That's all I can say. Drivers getting ready to exit the pit lane for Q2. We've got a very, very long queue, and it seems like the teams are worried that rain is forecast. Yeah. But we'll have a green flag at the a green light at the end of the pit lane shortly, and we'll be underway. There we go, a green light, and the drivers make their way out of the pit lane. Yeah. Oh, is it raining? Is it raining? Okay, we have a potential for rain. I don't know if the camera is just playing tricks on my eyes or it is actually raining. But the team's definitely worried about it. That's why everyone's coming out so early and so quickly. Yeah. Right. Did you get a water sponsor yet? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, if any of you guys work at a water company, then do let me know. Rain has been forecast for 20 minutes away. That's when rain. That's like proper rain is forecast 20 minutes away. So we could have Q3 in the rain, and that would be fantastic. Saw Danny on the radio. Rain, small drops shouldn't affect. Okay. All right. Yeah. The science have said no rain in the pit lane or dry track. All right, so there's no rain as of yet. It's forecast for 20 minutes away. I've just saw the McLaren radar. It is forecast for 20 minutes. So you know, let's just wait. Will there be rain on race day? Let me check Montreal weather, and it is forecast to rain tomorrow as well. It is forecast to rain in Montreal tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, it says thunderstorms. Wait, let me just double check that with another source. But we could have some heavy rain tomorrow, and that is going to make it a 60% chance of rain, and it's 2 raindrops, not just 1. So, yeah, raining tomorrow. We could have rain late in Q2 as well. So the drivers are making their way out, and they're going to be really pushing on these laps, trying to get as much performance out of the cars as humanly possible. George Russell, the purple first sector, Hamilton with a fastest second sector. Here they are making their way down the straight, barreling down the straight, in fact, bouncing as well. The surface has been, the track surface has been resurfaced, but we do see quite a bit of bouncing, and I see raindrops on the TV cameras. I see raindrops on George Russell's visor, and it looks like we are going to have some rain falling. So yeah, these times are very critical. The drivers have to nail these laps, otherwise, you know, in 5 minutes time the circuit could be wet, and the pace is nowhere to be seen. So here they go for Alex Albon across the line, 6th. He's starting his flying lap. Let's see, Carlos Sainz. He's abandoned his flying lap. Lando Norris, a 1:13.2 from him, slightly slower than Kevin Magnussen, but nevertheless, pretty quick lap, getting very, very close to the barriers. Piastri comes across the line now. He puts himself up into first position. Great lap, half a second, ahead of Lewis Hamilton. That is a very quick lap. He need a 1:12.4. Brilliant job there from Piastri, must I say. Yeah, now Lando is nowhere to be seen. He's 8 tenths behind Piastri. Wow. Yeah, with Russell's visor, it could be sweat. Indeed, it could be sweat for with Russell's visor. But the camera that was showing the feed into turn number 1 was also did also have raindrops on it. So yeah, I'm going to take that as confirmed for at least a couple of drops of rain. And it is definitely lower grip than before. We have Verstappen across the line. That's second place for Max Verstappen. Even he can't match Piastri's time as track conditions get slightly worse by the minute. Hello, Remy. Nice to see that you're back here. By the way, Logan Sargent has outqualified Perez more times than he's outqualified Albon. Yeah, just goat things. Honestly, Remy, great comments as usual. Russell first for purple first sector for him. Looks like track conditions are slightly improving if George Russell can still set purple first sectors. Fernando Alonso up into second place. Carlos Sainz up into third place as well. This is a great job here. Charles Leclerc up into second. Times seems to still be tumbling. As we still have rain forecast and we still see a couple of drops here and there. Drivers are getting quicker and quicker. It seems like they've just decided to go full send because they don't know when the rain's coming and they might as well set the quickest lap that they humanly can. And look at that, Daniel Ricciardo as well, matching Yuki Tsunoda. Both drivers within half a tenth of each other. So Daniel Ricciardo, on the second time of asking, has made it through and has matched Yuki Tsunoda. Good job from him. All right, then. George Russell improves. He goes a 10th quicker than Oscar Piastri. A solid job from him. Here comes Lewis Hamilton now. He's third. He goes up into third place as well. Brilliant. All right, yeah, Verstappen over the radio complaining about Russell not being Russell being in the way, so I think Verstappen's not going to be happy about that. Lewis Hamilton having quite a big moment coming out of the final corner, and I think that's why he lost a bit of lap time and is there behind George Russell. Yeah, a massive moment there for Lewis Hamilton, losing the rear end as he turns into the final chicane. So he's still got time left on the table. Currently, the elimination zone stands as Verstappen, Stroll, Albon, and Gasly and Sargent. And the gap between first and 15th is a second and a half. But the gap between first and sixth, only half a second. So it's quite close up there at the top. And of course, this is one of the shorter circuits, so the gap will normally be shorter as well. Well, yeah, we'll just be shorter by default. Smaller by default. Will the drivers get faster the more quali goes on? Well, they should, but if it rains, then probably not. Carlos Sainz has got a lap time deleted for exceeding track limits at turn number 13. Turn number 13 is the final chicane. Seems like Carlos Sainz cut the curb just a little bit too much here for the FIA's liking, and he has got a lap time deleted for that. So he's put himself down into 10th position after that lap time being deleted. All right. Oh yeah, Vienna blinders. I shall fix that. There we go. That's been fixed. We have 7 minutes left of Q2. Verstappen still having mechanical issues. No, Verstappen has not had any mechanical issues. He had mechanical issues in practice yesterday, but they have been resolved. He was complaining about the downshift, and I'm sure that has been resolved as well. So as of now, Max Verstappen, his car is driving A-OK, but he is still down in 11th position because track evolution is king at this circuit. And if you don't set a lap time right at the end, then you are losing out significantly. We have a weather alert, rain in 9 minutes time, according to the FIA. And we also have just a double confirmation from that. The McLaren radar predicted rain in 11 minutes time. So yeah, it does seem like we will have rain in between Q2 and Q3, and I will keep you updated on that. And maybe we'll have intermediate conditions for Q3. Who knows? But yeah. All right, F1 Gamer, who are you rooting for? I guess I'm rooting for Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda, the two drivers that I support. But of course, my main favorite driver is Seb Vettel. Would be great to see to see him back racing, maybe even in the Le Mans 24 hours. Carlos Sainz across the line for 8th position there after getting his lap time deleted. So a good lap there, but still not that close to his teammate. He's still got 2/10 to go. And Charles Leclerc, he comes across the line for the second time, and he does not improve on this occasion. With now 5 minutes left on the clock, he's going to have to get back into the pits ASAP and put on a fresh set of tyres and put him some more fuel into his car. Right. Look at that top 4, folks. We have got George Russell, Oscar Piastri, Lewis Hamilton, and Lando Norris. Not a Ferrari, not a Red Bull to be seen anywhere. Wow. Very, very exciting stuff. Yeah, maybe Ferrari can't perform this weekend and Mercedes are now the 3rd fastest car, at least for this weekend. There have been a couple of issues down at the Williams garage. They have been struggling to get some of the tyres onto Alex Albon's car. The right rear tyre specifically, the wheel nut is just does not seem to be working. They've been struggling with that. George Russell having a massive snap of oversteer. Oh my God, going through turn number 6. On his previous lap. So he's still got time to... Oh, sorry, turn number 4. But he's still got time to make up. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. All right, 4 minutes 20 remain on the clock, and we've got everyone out onto the circuit apart from the 2 Ferraris, Kevin Magnussen and Max Verstappen. We've got 7,000 people tuned in. Very much do appreciate the support, folks. And yeah, I hope you are enjoying the coverage. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Yeah. All right, folks. Yeah, if we hit 1,000 likes, that would be brilliant. Also, the subscriber target, we are, 307 subscribers away. And we've got 6,700 of you watching. That is fantastic. Right. Here we go then. Right, so we've got, let's take you through a lap, in fact. Who is on a hot lap right now? Seems like Yuki Tsunoda is, Yuki Tsunoda starting a hot lap. So here we go then. Going through into turn number 1, slamming onto those brakes and rotating the car through turn number 2. Back onto the power, going downhill now for turn number 3. Gets on those brakes nicely, doesn't lock the fronts, and then through the chicane, hitting both apexes, getting so close to the barriers. Now, hugs the wall through turn number 5, slams on the brakes for 6, and then rotates the car as much as he can to get a good exit out of turn number 7. Now heading towards turn number 8, where he had a couple of incidents in practice, but hits the brakes smoothly and doesn't lose the rear end this time. Now towards the hairpin for the final, going through the second DRS zone of the circuit. Onto the brakes for the hairpin, gets a nice late apex, and he's got Max Verstappen ahead of him, who's going to give him a nice little tow as well. But Tsunoda right up to speed there. DRS flap open as he approaches the final chicane. And reaching speeds of now 210 miles an hour. Slams onto the brakes, goes through the final chicane very nicely, goes so close to the barriers and gets a nice tow off at Max Verstappen, and that is Tsunoda up into 2nd position. What a lap from Yuki Tsunoda, and that tow has really helped him out and brought him up into 2nd place. And that just shows you, folks, if you can set up your tow for the driver coming out of the chicane, if you can get a tow coming out of there, the amount of time you gain is absolutely enormous. So we'll keep an eye out if anyone else can time that tow as perfectly as Yuki Tsunoda did with Max Verstappen. But we've got 1 minute 20 seconds left on the clock. Everyone now coming out of the final corner to start their final flying laps. And we're going to have Lance Stroll be the first driver to come across the line on a hot lap by the looks of it. Oh no, Stroll's still on an out lap, I think. Okie dokes. Here we go then. Stroll, Leclerc across the line, 9th position for him. Not that exceedingly quick. We've got Russell with a purple first sector, Hamilton with a purple second sector. This is the second time we've seen this. Russell with a purple first, Hamilton with a purple second. And look at that, Hamilton's got a nice little toe off Daniel Ricciardo there. Unfortunately, Daniel Ricciardo slows down, so Hamilton doesn't have the toe all the way down the straight. Verstappen across the line, only 5th position for Max Verstappen. That is a big surprise. Maybe he made a mistake, maybe he didn't, but the Red Bull is not where we expected it to be. Hamilton across the line, 1st position for him, the first driver in the 1 minute 11s. And he goes 3/10 ahead of Lando Norris. A brilliant job there from Lewis Hamilton. We've got Fernando Alonso starting a flying lap. George Russell across the line into 1st position. He goes 2/10 quicker than Lewis Hamilton. Wow, that is brilliant there from George Russell. And yeah, the Mercedes are looking really quick. They were quick in FP3, but I didn't believe it. And Sainz eliminated from Q2, and that is 11th place for Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc in the elimination zone as well. And Leclerc, after winning the Monaco Grand Prix, is eliminated in Q2. That has been an absolute shocker for Ferrari here. And I don't know how they're going to recover from this. I mean, you can overtake at Montreal, but straight from qualifying on pole to qualifying 11th, this has not worked out nicely for Ferrari. Oh. Oh my God, yeah. I mean, the Ferraris are going to have quite a heated debrief, but where is the pace gone? Sainz over the radio says, I have no grips. I have no grip. Maybe their tyre warm-up prep wasn't up to standard. I don't know what it was. I didn't pay attention if Ferrari was doing double warm-up laps or only single warm-up laps, but both drivers getting eliminated in 11th and 12th position. Both Aston Martins just scraping it through. And look at that. We have Albon through into Q3, and we have both Alpha Tauris here. Yeah, they've said the quote of the radio saying it was so different. I have no grip. So the Ferraris unable to perform right when they needed it at the end of Q2. What a surprise! Ferrari was return of the circus. Indeed, Sainz had a massive moment coming out of the final chicane. Just got so sideways. I mean, you could have put him in a Tokyo Drift movie and he would have fit right in, because yeah, he was sliding all over the place after he came out of the final corner, and that is probably the reason why he didn't make it through, because he only needed another 10th, and that probably cost him there. So, not good there for Ferrari, not good. Oh yeah, we've hit the light goal. That is fantastic. Cheers, folks. Very much do appreciate it. Let's move that a little bit to the right there, and I guess a light goal can move itself up to 1,500. All right. The Ferrari upgrades are not working. So sad to give false hope to many people. Well, this is the thing. Ferraris, Monaco and Montreal are basically polar opposites of circuits, right? Like Monaco, Ooh. What is going on here? Oh my God. Right, yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, the Ferraris, Monaco and Montreal, both polar opposites of circuits, right? Monaco has got so many slow speed corners, and Montreal has basically got only high speed. If you ignore the hairpin at the end and turn number 2, then everything else is medium speed or high speed. So some serious differences between the circuits, and I guess it's quite clear to see Ferrari excelling in the high speed, in the slow speed corners. Even what we saw in Monaco, we saw that Ferraris were quicker than the Red Bulls in the slow speed corners. In the high speed, they were struggling a little bit, but there weren't that many high speed corners whatsoever in Monaco. Yeah. All right, let's keep an eye out on the weather. What is the weather saying? Hopefully we get a little bit of rain. That would be fantastic. But currently, I am in a commercial break from Sky Sports because because it's Sky Sports. You know what I mean? You give your money to Sky Sports and then they show you adverts between qualifying sessions. I mean, what's the need, folks? What's the need? Sky Sports, I am your number one hater. Yeah. But we'll have 4 minutes. 4 minutes till we get underway for qualifying 3. And yeah. All right, please tell me Ferrari out in Q2 is a joke. Indeed, I mean, to be honest, it is a joke. Ferrari after winning the previous race, getting knocked out in Q2 is a very big surprise. Q3 begins in 4 minutes time, and we have got the Ferrari drivers making their way out of the car, making their way out of the paddock. Not ideal, to say the least. Not ideal whatsoever. Thank you for the donation, Aiel. $5. Do appreciate it, buddy. I'm a Mick fan, but I stan Yuki. I mean, indeed, Yuki Tsunoda, one of my favorite drivers as well. And he's done a fantastic job there as well, ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. So in the first runs of Q2, Tsunoda and Ricciardo were matching each other. On the second runs of Q2, Tsunoda improved by 0.2 of a second, and Daniel Ricciardo unable to compete. So, yeah, Yuki Tsunoda doing a good job. And once again, thank you for the donation, buddy. Very much do appreciate you helping out the channel. Where is Ocon going in 2025? And Ocon is there's no clue really, no idea where Esteban Ocon is going. Quite difficult to say. Who knows? Who knows where he'll go? I don't know if another team will. I mean, Ocon is a quick driver, so who knows? Who knows? Good morning, F1 Game. I'm here for Q3 at 7:45 a.m. Wow, good on you for waking up early on a Sunday. But yeah, we'll have Q3 in in 2 minutes time now. 6:45. Yeah, that is very early for a Sunday. Here we go then. We'll have Max Verstappen. Well, yeah, once again, so again, we've had quite a few surprises. Perez getting eliminated in Q1. We've had both Ferraris getting eliminated in Q2. But both Mercedes have been performing exceptionally. Like, we could potentially see a Mercedes on the front row here. Like, it's not out of question. And when they were first quickest and third quickest in practice, I was like, oh yeah, sure. I mean, this is just practice. It doesn't really mean anything. And I'm sure there'll be a 7th or 8th. In fact, if you scroll all the way back to the start of the stream, you'll hear me say, oh yeah, Mercedes probably going to be 7th or 8th position. I don't think they're that quick. But here they are. And let's wait and see what happens. Maybe it will start raining. The rain was forecast to start 2 minutes ago by the McLaren radar. So let's wait and see. Will it start raining or will it not? What's going to happen? Q3 is now. Q3, well, should be now. Maybe give it 30, 40 seconds. And we'll have the drivers making their way out of the pit lane. But everyone's sat in the garage, nobody queuing up as of now. So no one seems too urgent to get out. And the rain might not be an issue. All right. Oh, in fact, never mind. We've got everyone queuing up. Both McLarens, the Max Verstappen, everyone queued up. 30 seconds to go. And I was actually talking about this at the start of the stream. I was like, oh yeah, if Ferrari can score a couple more points in Red Bull this weekend, then we could see that the Ferraris actually overtake Red Bull in the constructors. But it looks like that's not going to happen. All right, the green light is open for Q3. We have got Oscar Piastri coming out of the pit lane. We've got Max Verstappen out of the pit lane, Lando Norris as well. And here we go then. This is the final top 10 shootout. It does not seem to be raining. The rain that was forecast has not materialized as of now. We still have, 12 minutes of qualifying for that to happen. But if the first couple of runs go through, then the rain will not affect much. All right. Oh, and look at that! They've told Oscar Piastri over the radio we have time to do a warm up lap if you need. So a warm up lap is effectively just a double warm up because Montreal is one of the shorter circuits on the calendar. The drivers have to end up doing 2 warm up laps to get the tires up into temperature. Potential comeback drive from both Ferraris if Checo fails again. Indeed, I think the Ferraris will have some race pace, but yeah, not great from Sergio Perez, to be honest. All right, first flying lap from Piastri. Is he going to be on a push lap or is it going to be a warm-up lap? Here we go, then we'll follow him around, going through into turn number 3 and 4. Nice little chicane there. And it looks like Piastri is pushing, a 20.4 from him in the first sector. So Piastri is definitely pushing on this lap, and let's wait and see what he can do. What happened to Checo? I don't know, they timed the lap wrong, or Perez just made a mistake or something, but just not enough pace, really. Not enough pace from Sergio Perez. Right. Was it his fault or the others? I think it was mainly his fault. And once again, thank you for the donation, Isle. Cheers. Piastri doing coming down now the back straight. Hasn't got anyone ahead of him to give him a tow, but comes through the final chicane very, very nicely indeed. Does not go anywhere near the barriers, but still makes his way through very quickly. And it is a 1:12.7 for Oscar Piastri for the first driver to set a lap time in Q3. We have Max Verstappen, a 1:12.3, goes 4 tenths quicker than Oscar Piastri. And now we have Lando Norris coming across the line. What can he do? Lando Norris, unfortunately, slower than Oscar Piastri by half a second. Not even half, 8 tenths of a second, 7 tenths of a second. That is quite the big gap there for Lando Norris. Alonso slots himself between the two McLarens, a quick lap there, and only marginally slower than Oscar Piastri. So quick driving there from Fernando Alonso, and he's doing a great job there. Let's see what Stroll can do. In fact, he's been quicker than Alonso by a tenth in all of the qualifying sessions so far. But this time, it seems he is 3 tenths behind him. So, yeah. I guess Alonso wasn't pushing as hard then, or maybe Stroll has made a mistake. Albon now through the final corner makes his way very, very, very nicely. In fact, a very, very smooth entry and exit out of turn number 13 and 14, but it's only 5th place for Alex Albon. And Tsunoda has done a warm-up lap, and Lando Norris is going to have to go again. Oscar Piastri changing the setting on his front wing. Nothing too out of the ordinary here, just going a little bit less on the downforce at the front, hopefully to stabilize the rear. A lot of drivers have been struggling with rear end stability, so if you reduce the downforce on the front, you reduce the requirement for grip at the rear as well. But we have 7 minutes 33 remaining, and currently the timing sheets has got Max Verstappen on the top, Oscar Piastri in 2nd position, and we have got Fernando Alonso in 3rd place. That's great progress from Aston Martin. They have been struggling as of late, and here they are back up at the top, which is good to see. Imagine if Stroll gets the pole. It's rhymed too. Indeed, it does rhyme. But yeah, Stroll, he is 4 tenths off his teammate. So getting pole is a little bit out of the question. Tsunoda as well. Let's wait and see what his lap time is. Let's wait and see what Daniel Ricciardo's lap time is. Can they match each other? Will Tsunoda be quicker once again? Russell, oh my God. Russell 3 tenths quicker than Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton as well. He goes a 10th quicker than Max Verstappen. The Mercedes are really on it today, and they've switched on their cars. I don't know what they've been doing for the past couple of races. They've been nowhere to be seen, but here they are in qualifying in Montreal, and they're in P1 and P2, a front row lockout. Well, okay, front row lockout is a bit too early, but they're in 1st and 2nd position provisionally. And what? I mean, yeah, Mercedes is back, party mode is back, and a very big surprise. And also, I'd like to point out Russell 3/10 quicker than Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion, George Russell, out-qualifying quicker than him. Mr. Saturday himself has out-qualified Lewis Hamilton, I think, on six occasions now. So George Russell doing a fantastic job, and currently on provisional pole position. Wow. Very, very exciting. Okay. Russell had a tow. Okay, well, I guess that explains it. And maybe Mercedes will switch it around for the next runs. Hamilton will get the tow on the second run. Who knows? Or maybe because Hamilton's leaving the team at the end of the year, they're just going to give Russell a tow 2 times. But wow. Oh, they got so close to the barriers. That was, I think, Lewis Hamilton going through Lewis Hamilton coming out the final corner, and he was centimeters away. And in fact, he got a bit of a slide on as well. Okay. Hamilton made a mistake coming out of the final chicane, and that's why he's lost a bit of time. Yeah. That explains it a little bit, but yeah, 4 minutes left on the clock, and we've got 2 Mercedes up in first position. I did not think that was going to be happening today. I did not think that would be happening whatsoever. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what finds out. McLaren's coming out onto the circuit with a set of fresh tyres, 0 laps done on Lando Norris's tyres and 2 laps done on Piastri's tyres. Don't know why Piastri has got 2-lap old tyres. Oh, Piastri's already on his hot lap, that's why. So there we go. Let's follow Oscar Piastri around as he makes his way down towards turn number 8. Has got the DRS wide open there, and he slams onto the brakes. It slams shut. And yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary there for Oscar Piastri, just setting a very quick first sector and a very quick second sector as well. He's 2/10 off the competition in terms of George Russell. But the McLarens are very quick indeed, and here they are. Here is Piastri now coming down the straight, approaching 200 miles an hour, probably 210 to be more accurate, but he slams onto brake into 14, and it looks like he's gone full send, a bit over the curbs, a bit bouncing here and there, and fractions of centimeters away from the wall, and he comes across the line now for second place. Oscar Piastri, what a lap. And we saw this at the end of Q2, right? We saw a Mercedes in first, and then a McLaren in second, a Mercedes in third, and McLaren in fourth. What is going on? The Ferraris are nowhere to be seen. Max Verstappen is in fourth position. Wow. A whole lot of action. And to be honest, after the first 3 races of the season, I kind of called it a day. I was like, oh, this season's going to be another boring. Max Verstappen's going to win everything. But here we are with Russell in first, Piastri in second, Hamilton in third, both Ferraris being eliminated, and Verstappen in fourth. Like, what is going on here? Lando Norris comes across the line. That's second place for Lando Norris. He goes, 80 milliseconds ahead of Oscar Piastri. Very, very close between the 2 teammates. So a solid job there from Lando Norris as well. And he's 21 milliseconds away from George Russell. 21 milliseconds. And also, I'd just like to say, George Russell's best lap was a 1:12.000. How often do you see that? And I'm going to be honest with you, I've watched Formula One since 2018, and I have never actually seen that. Not that I pay attention every single time, but yeah, quite surprising. It looks like whatever rain that we were talking about, definitely not going to materialize. We have 2 minutes left to go in the session, and all of the drivers now making their way out onto the circuit to do their final flying laps. Here we go then. Here we go. Both Mercs are coming out as well. 1 minute 37 left on the clock. Looks like they're going for as late as possible to get the most optimal track conditions in, the most optimal track conditions. But let's wait and see. Also, folks, if you are enjoying the coverage, then be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well. I will be commentating for, for tomorrow's race as well. So, go ahead and subscribe. And be sure to tune into that as well. Daniel Ricciardo, a purple in the first sector. Wow. Okay. Now that's quickly been taken away by Fernando Alonso, but nevertheless, Daniel Ricciardo setting the purple sector alight. We've had a few provisionals in the time you've been streaming. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I guess I just don't pay that much attention. Probably forgot, to be honest. But Alonso purple in the first sector. Let's wait and see what he can do in the second sector. And it is green for him in the second sector. 37 seconds remain. We have Oscar Piastri. He is coming across the line. He does not improve. He goes a tenth slower than his previous best. I'll once again, another donation. Very much do appreciate it, buddy. Working on the race weekend. Thanks for the reporting. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the donations. Yeah. Okay. Verstappen purple in the first sector. He's taken that away from Fernando Alonso. Alonso across the line, 5th position for him. So a quick lap, but not exceedingly, not right up there in the top 4. Ricciardo up into 4th. I must say that is a fantastic lap. In fact, he was purple in the first sector. He's really gone full commitment there. Lando Norris currently in second place. He comes across the line, does not improve. It's 0.3 slower than his personal best. We've got Tsunoda across the line. He's currently in 10th place, and he puts himself up into 8th. And Daniel Ricciardo goes 0.2 quicker than Yuki Tsunoda. So that's a great job from him. We've got Verstappen now coming across the line. Purple in the first sector, green in the second sector, and it's only second place for Max Verstappen. And here comes George Russell. He's already got pole position secured unless Lewis Hamilton can do anything about it. But here comes George Russell out of the final chicane. It is no improvement. There is no improvement, and actually Russell and Verstappen have the exact same lap times. Both of them are 1:12.000, but Russell was the driver to set it first, and he is going to have pole position. That is okay, so this has definitely not happened before. This has definitely not happened because wow, okay. And that is it. That's the end of qualifying. George Russell with a 1:12.000 ends up on pole position, even though Max Verstappen sets a 1:12.000. What are the odds that both of the drivers are on 0:00 and both of them set the exact same lap times? I mean, this is ridiculous. And George Russell has got pole position, for crying out loud. George Russell in the Mercedes. The Mercedes has been absolutely nowhere for the previous 8 races of the season, but they come here to Canada. They have a great FP3, and then they stick it on pole position in qualifying. What a drive. What a lap from George Russell. And just look at the difference. Look at the top 7, right? The top 7 are within 0.3 of a second. It is so close here in Montreal, and George Russell has secured pole position. I'm sure he'll be absolutely pleased. Absolutely pleased. He'll be absolutely over the moon with that. And wow. And Daniel Ricciardo as well, up into 5th position. He goes quicker than Yuki Tsunoda. And Alonso ahead of Stroll. Pretty normal stuff there. And then we've got Norris ever so slightly ahead of Piastri. But I would like to say we've still got a potential chance of Verstappen not winning the race tomorrow. We could see Lando Norris up there. We could see Piastri up there. Maybe even Daniel Ricciardo making a return to the podium. Who knows what's going to happen, folks? Who knows what is going to happen? But this has been a brilliant qualifying, and I very much appreciate if you have stuck all the way along till the end, because I mean it was well worth the wait. If I'm going to be honest, well worth the wait indeed. I will be commentating for tomorrow's race. I'm going to end today's stream. It'll take you over to tomorrow's stream. Just be sure to hit the reminder button and the like button as well. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you tomorrow for the Canadian Grand Prix with George Russell starting alongside Max Verstappen on the front row of the grid. That is an exciting thought to behold. All right. Yeah, that's it from me. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers, fellas.